On today's show, we have Miss Maxie-Shumate, Miss Gloria Adams, and Miss Sheila Johnson. It's going to be a great show, and it's completely hands-free. Make sure you watch. And today we are here with Miss Maxie-Shumate with a hyphen, who I have known for a hot minute. How long have we known each other?
Probably about 20 years. I've been here about 20 years.
So it's been, and we've known each other since for that length of time. I've always loved you. Now you are the program coordinator for the Early Childhood Education Technology Program.
Absolutely.
And you're also one of the principal teachers of that program. So you're very busy, and every time I see you, you're like, very busy. But tell us what that program involves. What is the Early Childhood Education Technology Program?
Okay, this is a wonderful program. It is hands-on, where we learn to work with children, and it's so important today because we don't want to leave our children out. They are so important today. We practice best practices, because in order to be a good teacher, you need to practice.
Okay, that's true.
So we do all this practice, we do lesson plans, we coordinate with Cengage to do MindTap for our textbooks. Okay. And these are books that our students chose, which is really cool. Okay. And then these books help prepare you for our pre-PAC test, which it's a national test that we do the 4th semester, so that it's good for 3 years, that certificate, and it just shows that I'm ready. I've got this.
Well, so when they complete your program and take that, you said pre-PAC?
Pre-PAC.
Pre-PAC. So what type of jobs are they ready for?
Okay. You can be a child care center educator. Okay. You can be a director with 2 years paid experience, and that can be before, during, and after. Okay. A lot of my students, when they come in, they're already employed, which is great. And I have a great record for students after they finish the program being employed. You can also be an assistant teacher at a Head Start, or you can be an assistant teacher with the pre-K and K. Okay. So we're really birth to 8, helping children. Our primary focus is helping children be ready for kindergarten. Okay. And that means you have the social skills, you have the cognitive skills, and you know, by the end of kindergarten, you need to count to 30 now. Yeah. So you have to recognize your numbers. And
I had the shock of my life. It was about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, when I found out you could fail kindergarten.
Yes, you can.
I thought, you've got to be kidding me. But you can
fail
kindergarten. Okay.
So in our program, and I just got a whole bunch of things for the end of the year, we talk about things like age and developmentally appropriate books. And these books are wonderful because the babies can chew on them. Okay. And one person said, well, thanks, Ms. Shumate, for giving these a workshop, which I did. And anyway, she used these in her classroom, and she would keep washing them and washing them. She goes, I finally had to iron the thing. And it'll even iron. So these indestructible books are absolutely fabulous. Wonderful. And we talk about using these for children, especially when they're teething. Because the board books are really expensive, and why give them a book that's going to be torn up? Let's just give them something that's age and developmentally appropriate.
And haven't studies shown that the more you read to your child as they're growing, that the more they become a reader? Aren't there statistics backing that up?
Absolutely. Okay. And that way, not only do we practice that with my students, so they learn to be great readers and know how to hold the book, how to interact with children, how to ask questions, how to prep for a story, not just, okay, let's sit on the rug and here's the story, but what do you want them to listen for? Because also children aren't going to start listening until you plant the seed. This is what I want you to listen for. Okay. We also have wonderful things. I just got this, you can tell it because I haven't opened it yet. But these are age and developmentally appropriate. These would be like for 1.5 to 3-year-olds. Okay. It also is great for children with special needs when they need to really hold on to something for the knob. There's a picture of like the zebra underneath, and then we show how to scaffold the activities to something like this. Where, that's cute. Now I do teach students to draw the outline of the puzzle piece, and that sometimes that helps children. Sometimes children can just eyeball it and they put it together.
That's wonderful.
So that's really fun.
So this is a 2-year program, and they get a certificate at the end of the 2-year program, right?
Right.
Okay, so what are the prereqs to get into your program?
You have to have an HCT score or an acupuncture score. ACT is 17. Acupuncture, they have just changed.
Yeah, they
so
Whatever the equivalent of.
we go through Mrs. Creel
Okay.
for like the initial kind of screening to make sure you're ready for the program.
Okay.
You can take Comp 1 or
Now,
even
is that an
basic
overall ACT score of 17? Okay, not a specific,
No.
just an overall ACT
Overall
score and
AC
an overall acuplacer score.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can either take your basic English
Okay.
or have Comp 1.
Okay, so they need to have had they need to have that to get into the program.
Absolutely, because we use our books
Right.
heavily. And I can't, even though I try, I can't teach everything, so the book backs up everything I'm saying. All the
Okay.
books do, and it's fabulous. Also, it helps prepare you to take a test so that
Okay.
you're ready to take the pre-pack.
Excellent.
And there are also, I'll give people links to different resources and things like that so that they are well prepared.
How many new students do you take in every year? How many?
On the books it says 20, and I
Okay.
usually average about 15.
Okay, so 15 to 20 slots are available.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about someone who wants to open their own daycare?
Okay, this,
Do you give them any like pointers or anything? Because I know you're talking about dealing with the kids and all, and I hate to say it like this, but I know so many people who are like, oh, I'm going to do this daycare, or I do something else where they talk about being, you know, I'm a great cook, I'm going to open a restaurant, but they don't know the business part of it.
right.
Do you do anything with that, if you don't mind me asking?
No, we sure do. We and actually someone just asked because
Okay.
there's a difference between, and we go by the regulations for licensure for our child care centers. I have a great relationship with the person at the health department, and somebody who just wanted to be an owner. You can be an owner, you can be a director, you can be a director owner.
Okay.
Now, if you want to be a director, this is a great program, as well as an owner. An owner would kind of own the facility.
Sure.
We
But
teach,
you still need to know the requirements.
You sure do.
Of what you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I would highly recommend going through licensure to make sure that you meet all those qualifications, because you don't have to have the program to be an owner, but if you want to be a director, it's a good thing to have the program.
Okay.
And actually, if you want to be an owner, it's a good thing to have too, because it tells you all the ins and outs, what's required. You want to know what's required of your teachers.
As I said before, so many people they've got down part if they're opening a restaurant. They know the cooking part, or they know the taking care of kids part, but they don't know the business angle.
And we have administration, which is one of our classes. That's 4th semester.
Okay.
And that really teaches you a lot of the ins and outs. It makes references to budgets and things like that. So it really helps to make you a well-rounded person.
Okay, okay. And I'm gonna, my niece actually took a class from you. She is a teacher now. She teaches 1st grade.
Okay.
And she took a class and still talks about the stuff that y'all did in there. She uses in her class the creative
Great.
materials that she does. It is a wonderful program that you have going. Now, how can people apply to this? Who do they need to get in touch with for this?
Okay, you can get in touch with me, and the best way to get in touch with me right now is wshumate@meridiancc.edu. Also, you can go through Valerie Creel, which is vcreel@meridiancc.edu. She's our counselor for career and tech, and then I'm the advisor once you get in the program.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. And I want you to come back and see us again, okay?
Oh, I'd love to. Thanks, Lowell.
All right. We'll be right back.
The world is changing, but at Meridian Community College, our goals remain the same. MCC takes pride in giving you the best education right here at home. Now is not the time to stand still. You've worked so hard. You've accomplished so much. You will soar above this. Find your purpose and register now for summer and fall classes. Find your wings at Meridian Community College.
And we are back, and we have Ms. Gloria Adams, who is the program coordinator of medical assisting technology,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes,
You're
sir.
also one of the lead instructors or
Yes, sir.
principal instructors. Okay, so you have a lot on your plate.
Yes, sir. I'm the only instructor.
Okay, and so only instructor, coordinator, everything. So you put the program together and.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what exactly is the medical assisting technology program?
Okay, medical assistants are multi-skilled. They
Okay.
do both clinical and administrative duties.
Okay.
They work mainly in ambulatory clinics like walk-in clinics, podiatry clinics, regular orthopedic clinics. They usually do not work in hospitals. And that's because when they do both the administrative and the clinical duties, they can, rotate through the clinic.
Okay.
They can work the front, they can work the back. Hospitals are mainly floors,
Okay.
so they cannot use all of their skills adequately in the hospital environment.
So what kind of administrative things do they do? What kind of, you said they'll go from the administrative
Right.
to, okay, so
Okay.
what kind of?
So administrative, anything at the front desk,
Okay.
answering the phone, scheduling patients, referrals. They do a little coding, a little correspondence,
Okay.
anything at the front desk.
Okay.
And then as far as the clinical side, they can assist the physician. They can do basic lab work, venipuncture, give injections. Oh Lord, it just goes on and on. EKGs,
Okay.
pulmonary function tests.
So this program, is it a 2-year program?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
2-year
so
AAS.
Okay, and then what are the criteria to get into the program?
Okay, so ACT of at least a 16.
Okay, that's for overall ACT.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. At least a 2 on GPA.
Okay.
They have to have some prereqs, which is A&P 1 and 2, and computer.
Okay.
This course
When
is
you say computer, does that computer
computer
applications?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. And then they have those as their prereqs. That's considered their first semester.
Okay.
And the other 3 semesters, they're strictly with me, fall, spring, and summer. At the end of, or at the beginning of the summer semester, they go out into a clinic here in the Meridian area, and they have to do a minimum of 192 hours, and that's part of their schoolwork.
Okay.
After they finish that, they do get to sit for a national board. Boards are good in any state. They are, they can go from Alabama to Mississippi to wherever.
Sure.
We are accredited through KHELP, the Commission on Accreditation for Allied Health Education Programs. That's important for students to know, or potential students to know, because there's a lot of places out there that they can get an MA degree or an MA certificate, but they may not be credentialed.
Right.
So, or
And
accredited.
what does that credentialing mean for them?
Well, that means that they can work in the electronic medical record.
Okay.
There's a lot of places that will not allow you to get into the medical record if you are not credentialed or licensed.
Okay. Okay.
So the credentialing part is very important to take the boards after you finish the course.
Okay. So, so it's a 2-year program. About how many people, how many new students do you accept every year?
15
So you accept 15 new students per year.
in the fall.
In the fall.
Yes, sir.
And then once that first semester is typically taking the computer and the A&P, right? Is that,
No,
did I understand?
no,
okay.
no, sir.
I got
So
confused
the
there.
15 students start with me in fall.
Got you.
Okay, so they have to have the prereqs before they
So
can
that's
get in
already
my
finished.
program,
All right,
and that's
all right.
A&P 1 and 2 and computer.
Which is why they're called prereqs.
Yes.
And yeah, I didn't.
That's okay.
Okay.
And then now there is a couple of gen ed classes throughout the semesters. English, humanities is in there, psychology. It's good to get all of those out of the way prior to getting in the course.
Right.
Because the course itself is a full load.
Right.
And I usually tell students that it's best if they know what route or which pathway they're going into to go ahead and get all those gen ed classes out of the way
Sure.
before they start any program.
Sure, that's true.
And it also helps them having those A's in those classes because everything is blind admission. And the only thing we see whenever we're picking students is their grades.
Right.
So, to get at the top of that spreadsheet, you want to have those good grades.
Sure.
And the more good grades you have, the better off you're going to be.
So, and once they finish this, once they've taken the boards, they can go to any state.
Any state,
And
work in any
work.
facility.
What are the job, are there good job possibilities
Oh,
when
yes,
they
sir.
finish?
Yes, sir. They're very employable
Okay.
because of the multi-skills that they have.
Okay.
The administrative and the clinical. A physician is going to employ either 2 people to do that one job that an MA can do, or they're going to employ that one MA to do all of it. So,
Well, now, and we're getting into, but you hear a lot of during this pandemic about essential and non-essential and stuff like that. That would be considered more of the essential.
yes, sir. Most definitely.
You know, and that's what I'm telling students now. You know, I'm like, you know, you really let's look at being essential.
Oh, yes, sir.
Whenever we possibly can.
Yes, sir.
And now you've been doing this for a little while, huh?
Yes, sir. I've been an MA for 25 years.
Okay.
And in 2013, MCC started this program, and that's when I came on board. So I've been here since its induction.
Was it very different going, becoming a teacher?
It was very different, yes, sir.
But you enjoyed it.
But I do, yes,
You
sir.
enjoy what you're
Yes,
doing.
sir. When the student gets that aha moment, you know, when they figure out what I've been lecturing on, and they actually get in there and they do it and they practice it, and they're like, that's what she meant by that. I mean, it's very rewarding.
And do you have students come back, you know, and talk to you about what they've, you know, discovered out in the,
Oh, yes, sir.
employing,
Yes, sir.
in their job world?
Just the other day, I had a 2015 graduate send me a picture, and she said, you said this would happen one day, and it did. She said, thanks for telling me about it.
Okay, well, good. Good.
And that's been 5 years ago.
Well, so if a student is interested in your program, okay, and what should they, you know, how do they go about applying and getting into your program?
Okay. So Miss Anna Hall is the health education advisor. She is the one that pulls transcripts to see if students are eligible. Her email is ahall4@meridiancc.edu. My email is gadams2@meridiancc.edu. And then my phone is 601-581-3571. We have a great website now, thanks to the folks here at MCC. They can always go to the Meridian Community College website, click on programs, and then click on career and technical, and then that's where they'll find medical assisting. There is a list of the curriculum, there's a list of the ACT and all of the requirements to get in.
Do you ever have students that continue their education?
Oh, yes, sir.
And so are there, what kind of things do they go into typically?
Medical office administration.
Okay.
Medical assistants are prime candidates for office managers because
Excellent.
they can, you know, do the entire clinic. They do the administrative and the clinical. So those are really, really good people to step into the office manager position.
Okay, excellent. Well, I think it's a wonderful program, and
Thank you.
I can't talk about enough about anything to do with the medical profession, the medical programs, you know, and the essential stuff that we need right now, and we need very much. But I want to thank you for being here, and I'd love for you to come back.
Yes, sir.
and
Thank
talk
you,
about
Mr.
it
Martin.
again.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
We are back, and we have Ms. Sheila Johnson, who is the program coordinator for the Medical Laboratory Technology Program and one of the instructors. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are
in
you?
this pandemic
Well,
world that
you know.
we find ourselves in?
It's
We're
interesting. Day
separated.
by day, it gets more interesting.
Day by day, changes every
Yes.
day, every time. But I
Exactly.
wanted to talk to you about your program.
Yes.
It is a 2-year program?
Yes.
Okay. And what are the prerequisites to get into your program?
Well, technically, none.
Okay.
Now, that comes with a little bit of a stipulation, though.
Okay.
We are set up completely with the 2-year program in the sense of you can get everything within those 2 years.
Okay.
The stipulations come in with, if you are a strong student who's coming from high school, we would prefer that you go ahead and take some of what we call those dual credit, dual enrollment type courses.
Okay.
If those happen to not be available at your high school, well, first of all, ask why they're not, but second of all, if they're not, you can still help yourself. And by that, I mean, take the higher level maths and sciences that are offered at your high school. Even though they may not be college courses, go ahead and take those. work really hard to get a high-level ACT, and what we mean by that is 25 or above, which
Okay.
sounds a little bit extreme, but you got to understand, you're competing with students who do have some college courses behind them, and you have to have something
Okay.
that lets us know that you will also be a strong enough student in our program that you can handle the material.
So if they're coming right out of high school and they've had higher level math and science,
Yes.
and they've made a 25 overall on the
Yes.
on the ACT, okay, let's assume that you have some people who don't have that. Okay, and they come to college,
Yes.
and they take some math and science
Right,
courses here.
Yes.
What would they need to do to get in your program, or can they get in your program?
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
that is the majority
Okay.
of our students. I'm not saying that they're not high quality in that sense, but they have chosen to come to school,
Okay.
get a few courses under their belt, see how college is going to work for them, and then we choose a program.
Okay.
So, okay, to do that, yes, take the sciences here, take the math. And when we say that, we mean college algebra for your
Okay.
math, okay? And then we would prefer that you take either A&P 1, or you can take microbiology. We do allow now the option of biology 1, but coming from the perspective of the program coordinator, I would prefer that a student take micro or A&P.
Okay.
It leads more into what we're going to be teaching, particularly the micro course, because we have 2 courses within our actual program content that are
Okay.
pathogenic micro, which means we're learning the diseases.
Okay.
So if you know and understand microbiology to begin with, that gives you a better foundation. We also strongly, I can't say that strongly enough, we strongly suggest that any student who is looking to be accepted into the program take chemistry.
Okay.
I know that's a scary word, but it's not a scary course. It is perfectly something that you can handle, and it's something that you've got to have to graduate from the program. But when we sit down as a committee, which is 6 or 7 people, and we're looking at our blind admissions where we don't know anything about you. I don't know your name.
You just
I
see
don't
you
know
just
your
see
social.
scores, you see
I
grades.
see your grades. I see
Okay.
your GPA. I see your ACT.
And that's
well,
it.
guess what? If I don't know who you are, I need for you to have good grades
Sure.
in maths and sciences. I need you to have a good ACT, which is 18 or above for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need for you to have a good GPA. Minimum 2.0, but please note, anything that's above a 2.0, particularly closer to a 3.0, is going to look stronger. You're going to have a better chance to get in.
How many new students do you
We take 15 each August.
each August?
Yes.
August only, but 15
Yes, we
students.
only have an August admissions, and that is just because of the nature of how
Okay,
the courses work.
Okay.
You can't go backwards
Okay.
to pick up a
So
course.
once they have completed this 2-year program, what types of jobs are there for them?
So many jobs.
And they're one of the essentials that we're talking about
We're so
nowadays.
far
Yeah.
past essential that like there's not a word for us.
Okay,
Just
good.
saying. I mean,
Okay.
who do you think's running all the COVID-19
Sure,
tests?
sure, okay.
The lab. Just saying. But anyway, yes, we are very essential. You can find a job. You don't have to worry about that. There are jobs here locally. There are jobs nationally. There are jobs everywhere for lab techs.
Do
So-
you take a national
Yes,
test?
there's
Okay.
a national certification test that technically, once you get into your 2nd year, is part of your tuition, so it's already paid for, so why not go take
Why not
it
to
and
go take
pass it? So
and
anyway,
then once you pass that, you can go anywhere in the States.
anywhere in the United States, and
Okay.
you can work because it covers you in all 50 states.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
So works really well.
Okay, so you said you're the types of jobs, all
Yes,
the COVID,
types
you were
of
talking about
jobs.
that.
Let's see. You can work in a doctor's office lab.
Okay.
If you want to Monday through Friday, no weekends or holidays, that's your route to go. You can work, those are also called physician's office labs, in case you hear that term. You can work some facilities, some hospitals have emergency room labs. You can work there. You can work in obviously a hospital lab. Those are probably the most common that people think of. If you've ever heard of a reference lab, somewhere like LabCorp.
Okay.
LabCorp is probably one of the biggest reference labs. And guess who works there? MLTs. That is one of the major places that you can work. If you've ever donated blood, guess who is the people testing that blood to make sure that that blood is okay for that person who's sick to get? It's an MLT, so you can work there. You can work in a water treatment facility.
Really?
Water has to be tested.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know. If you want to
okay.
drink water with bacteria, I
Not-
don't.
no.
So we can test that water and we make sure that it's okay for consumption by humans. So that's another area that you could branch out
Do you
into.
ever have students who complete your program and they continue their education?
Certainly, yes. We actually
What
have
kind of
quite
things
a few that do
what
that.
do they go into?
Well, you can progress yourself into this actual field. So you have the MLT, which is the 2-year degree, and then you have the Medical Lab Scientist, MLS, which is your bachelor's or 4-year degree.
Okay.
You can take that and go one step further and get a master's degree. You can use that to teach or to be a program coordinator such as myself. And you can even get a PhD in this field. So you can take this and go into a lot of areas like that. Taking this degree and making it better for you and your family and everything is something that we really strive for our students to do, and we promote that a lot, because you can become supervisors in the laboratory, you can become lab managers, you can actually move into the management roles in some of the other areas of the hospital, in administration and things like that. So you can take this degree and do that. You can get it online. Once you get through with us, you can truly go to a full online route because you take your position at your current facility where you're working as an MLT and you use that as your clinicals.
Okay.
So everything else is completely online. So,
But obviously, and it sounds like what you're talking about too is that this is a job that you're doing a lot of different things.
you can,
Okay.
yes. You can choose to do one thing, and when I say one thing, I mean like one department.
Sure.
So let's say my favorite, you might have been able to tell previously, is microbiology.
Right.
So when I got my job, I worked as what we call a generalist for 2 years, but then I focused on microbiology.
Okay.
And so that was the area I chose. Now, I don't do the same thing every day because
Sure.
if anybody knows anything about micro, it's so different each day. But you can focus, or you can keep it broad and actually do chemistry one day, micro one day.
Those who are interested in your
Yes.
program, who do they get in touch with?
They can contact me if they would like. I would be a little bit more of a direct link
Okay.
to program information as opposed to our advisor, because she's a little bit busy,
Sure. So
registering
how do they get in
students.
touch with you?
They can look on our website, which is specific. Go to the Meridian Community College website, look under programs of study, look up medical laboratory technology, and there's a place where they can email me, or it's got my phone number there. That's
Okay.
probably the easiest way than me just giving them a whole bunch of numbers and www dot
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
But yeah, it's
And this
programs
is a
of
great
study.
program. It is needed.
Yes.
It is necessary,
Yes.
and you have always been a great proponent of this.
Yes.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for being here.
You're
I
very
would like
welcome.
for you to come back and talk to us some more about this. Maybe we could get into talk about what's happening in the world once we figure out what's
Ooh,
happening
Lord.
in the world.
Yeah. I'll come back in about 10 years and we'll talk about what happened.
Thank you. I
Because
appreciate
it'll take that long to figure out what happened.
This is true. Well, listen, thank you for being here
Oh, you're
today.
very
I
welcome.
appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Become essential at Meridian Community College. Our community is changing, and at MCC, we are built for those who want to serve. Being essential has kept our community going. You can become that here, all at an affordable cost. Whether you dream of helping people through healthcare services or want to transport goods, connecting people with the products they need, we have many unique opportunities to help you find your purpose. Don't wait for change. Be the difference and register today. Become essential at Meridian Community College.
On behalf of our executive producer, Matt Milner, and me, I want to thank you for watching MCC Today. Listen, I had this dream where we had a studio audience and I walked through and everybody threw pickles at me. What do you think that means?